What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty from Ty Drives, and sitting in front of us is the 2024 Nissan Frontier. Now, this is an SV trim, but as you could probably tell, this isn't just any SV. This is the Hardbody edition. So, what is the Hardbody edition? Well, back in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe, you guys can correct me, Nissan had a great little pickup truck, and they called it the Hardbody. That was kind of its nickname. So what this vehicle is kind of a heritage edition to bring it back to that truck. Very, very cool. Kind of sound like an old man, but I really do like when manufacturers bring like a heritage edition back and kind of make it look like the old vehicles. But enough of me rambling on. More about this video. So we're gonna do a full features review here. Now, if you're interested to see how the Frontier drives, we have also had a test drive video put up where I strap this GoPro to my head and we take this truck for a test drive, so definitely check that out too. But as far as the features go, we're gonna start here on the exterior, open up the hood, check out the tailgate, rear seats, front seats, kind of get a look at all of the features this SV Hardbody edition has to offer. So let's start up front here, which is kind of like a heritage edition. So the basic Frontier trimables, so the SV, the S, all come with halogen headlights, and I think it's very fitting because the Hardbody had halogen headlights back when it first came out. Nonetheless, they do look pretty cool, all lit up. So we have the high and low beams, reflector halogen bulbs, and then we also have the daytime running lights up there too with the turn signals. Now, in case you're wondering, the Pro 4X will give you LED headlights. Taking a look down here, we also have halogen powered fog lights. So that's pretty cool. Again, looks pretty good, all illuminated. And as you can see, the whole front end of this vehicle, as well as the rear, most of the rear at least, is kind of glossy black, and that is another feature of the Hardbody edition. So we have the kind of Frontier logo up top with the new Nissan logo and a pretty aggressive looking grille. We have a lower grille too with some flat black accents and tow hooks up front. Up top we have this kind of matte black decal to kind of reduce sun glare on your hood. And we do have fender flares and arches in the back too, kind of like the Pro 4X. We also have the same all-terrain tires as the Pro 4X, but here is perhaps the best part about the Hardbody edition, these kind of wild-looking three-spoke alloy wheels, which are inspired by the original kind of Hardbody truck. So that is definitely one of the standout features. Of course, we have 6 lugs and some pretty good-looking disc brakes behind the wheels. We do have some more blacked-out accents of glossy black on your mirrors, and then black all the way around your windows. We have a shark fin antenna up top. Taking around to look at your mirrors, this does have a technology package, so we have a lot of kind of safety features, including blind spot warning, and those mirrors are also heated. We have the 4x4 sticker on the side, and as you can notice too, we have kind of like rock rails here, so they're not really side steps, they're just kind of rails at the back. And then we also have glossy black door handles. Smart key entry is on both the front door handles, so you just tap that little pad there to lock and unlock. Rear windows are tinted out, and we also have a sport bar back here for the bed, so that's pretty cool. I find it pretty neat that the Frontier still offers 3 different configurations. So we have a king cab, which is kind of like a half door and a longer bed. And then we have this kind of crew cab, which is a full rear door and a short bed. And then we also have a crew cab with the longer bed too. So that's pretty neat. Fuel doors on the driver's side. We also have a sliding rear window back there too. And back here is a different story with the lights because they are all LED. So we have the turn signals, the tail lights, and the brake lights are all LED back here. It looks pretty good. Got some more kind of retro style elements back here with this tailgate graphic. We have the blacked out bumpers, parking sensors too, a part of that technology package. We have our trailer hookups, and we can tow just about 6,600 pounds on the maximum towing capacity, so pretty capable truck. We have our tailgate handle with a reversing camera and a lockable tumbler there for the tailgate. To finish it all off, one of the other features you get with the Hardbody edition is an exhaust finisher. And once we take a look at the engine, We will get in a little exhaust clip so you can see how it sounds from the outside. And to round out the exterior portion, I would like to say a very big thank you to Crabtree Nissan here in Middlebury, Connecticut, for allowing me access to this very cool hardbody truck. You know, they've definitely been kind enough to lend me this truck for a couple hours. They'd definitely be kind enough to sell you your new Nissan. Actually, one more thing I lied. I wanted you to check out here is our window sticker, so you kind of know the MSRP. We're working with $45,790 MSRP. As we can see, we have the Hardbody Edition, which is a $3,800 option, the convenience and technology packages. So a couple of things there. What do you guys think of the styling on this SV Hardbody? I personally think it's awesome. I'm sure you guys could tell by the tone of my voice. I love these retro-inspired vehicles. Popping the hood on the Frontier reveals one single engine option, and it is a 3.8-liter naturally aspirated V6. Produces 310 horsepower, 281 pound-feet of torque, and it's all hooked up to a 9-speed automatic. Two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, of course, are available. This one having the kind of dual-range four-wheel drive setup, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is the only engine option available, still a traditional V6 under the hood, whereas lots and lots of competitors, the Tacoma, the Ranger, and things like that, have all kind of switched to turbocharged 4-cylinders or hybrids. So going along with the Heritage Edition, we do have a pretty traditional engine too. Let's take a look at the bed before we hop inside. So of course we have this big bed handle, and of course again it is lockable, very nicely dampened too, so you can just let it down nice and easy. And it's also very light, so when it's time to pick it back up, it's very easy to close. This one does have a spray-in bed liner. It also has the kind of bed rail, so you can hook up accessories, which is very nice. We have kind of hooks all the way around. We even have bed lighting inside the bed and a 3-prong outlet. And of course we also have that pretty cool sport bar, which really doesn't hinder any bed space, which is nice. And again, we are working with the short bed. Our first glance at the interior is going to be with the rear door. So pretty nice materials back here, not too bad. They have this kind of like cloth material where your arm's going to rest. So here and there. Up here is a little bit harder to touch, and all the way down there is too, but that's to be expected. We have a nice big bottle holder with some storage, a chrome door handle with your lock and unlock there. And then we also have your window switch. 6 speakers come standard on the Frontier, and that is the system we have here. We do have a grab handle at the side. Now you can get side steps for the Frontier. The one that I particularly had did have side steps, which were kind of useful, and sometimes they got in the way. So it's kind of at that height where you don't really need side steps to get in, but in some circumstances they are nice. We have a full charcoal cloth interior on this truck, so we have these big headrests here. We can either fold the seats down like so to get at the kind of child seats there, or we can fold the seats up like this, so where you can get kind of like you know, there's little cargo trays in there, and that will fold up with these little levers there. Actually a pretty decent amount of space in the back here. Let's hop in really quick so you can see how much room a guy of my size has. It's not too bad, you know, my knees just graze the back of the seat, and I did adjust this seat to a normal driving position for myself. I'm about 5'10", so just as a frame of reference, I have tons of headroom, but the backs of the seats are a little bit upright, so you definitely kind of want to keep the journeys in the back of the Frontier to a minimum, kind of just for around town. You also have a couple of cup holders back here with an armrest. And on the back of the center console, we have a USB-C, a USB, and a 3-prong outlet, so that's pretty neat. And a pretty flat floor at the bottom here. But let's check out what we've all been waiting for, the front cabin. And here we are at the front seats, where we'll kind of go through the door first. Same kind of materials as out back, so it's nice kind of cloth. It's almost like a grippy surface, but it is nice and soft. We've got our door handles, all of our windows switch with just our driver's window is automatic up and down. We have the child locks for the rear, lock and unlock for the doors, and your mirror adjustments. You've got this pretty cool silver trim on the front door here, and quite a bit more storage on the front door. We do have another speaker up here, and on the left of the dash we have our air vent. We have a towing mode, which will kind of put the transmission into a tow mode. We have a gauge dimmer and also a trip reset button for the screen in between the gauges. Now, there's a bunch of buttons on the left of the dash here. One kind of for the alerts for your safety systems. You can turn on and off your power outlets, turn on and off your bed lighting. We kind of have a hill descent mode, and then on and off for your traction control. Now the hood release is actually all the way up here, right below the steering column. And speaking of the steering column, there is a release here, but you can only tilt the wheel. It is not a telescoping steering wheel, so interesting. We have our parking brake right over here. Our pedals, nice carpeted floor mats with the Frontier logo. And some very comfortable seats. Now, I took my Frontier on some pretty long road trips, and these seats are pretty awesome. So you got a nice design for the cloth, very comfy again, and some kind of same color stitching here with all of your power adjustments. What do you say we hop inside and check out all the tech? So the design of the interior is pretty utilitarian. We kind of have a traditional setup for the gauges, a pretty nice touchscreen there, but all of the buttons are big. So like if you have gloves on, it's very easy to access them. It's a very, very truck-like interior. So not a whole lot of design going on, but kind of more functionality than form, I guess you could say. We have our very traditional Nissan key fob that they've had for years and years now, but it does have the updated Nissan logo up top. We have the remote start, lock, unlock, and the panic alarm. And then we also have a little switch at the side to kind of release a physical key in case you need one. Now we do have push button start right behind the steering wheel right here. And that V6 will come to life. Now our steering wheel is leather wrapped, and we can see pretty nice grain. We also have some stitching on the inside, good grips too. And as far as functionalities go, we have all of our adaptive cruise control on this side, and all of the kind of media and screen adjustments on this side. So we'll kind of go through that. We have the source, the up and down for the screen and enter, and then back and forth for the screen. We have back and forth for the audio volume, and then voice commands and Bluetooth phone controls. Now taking a look behind the steering wheel, we have a couple of stalks. So all of your headlight controls, your fog lights, your turn signals, and your automatic high beam controls are there. And then we also have our wipers to either side. Now, one thing about this Frontier is it still has hydraulic steering. So if you kind of have that old school vibe with your trucks and stuff like that, you'll be right at home, because in the parking lot, so this steering wheel is pretty tough to turn. But as you'll see on our test drive, it definitely lightens up. Just a more traditional steering feel, if you will. Let's take a look at our gauges. Pretty traditional setup with our large tachometer, large speedometer, and down at the bottom we have our fuel gauge and the coolant temperature right down there. But we do have a pretty nice digital section in the center. So we're going to use the up down with the enter, as well as the back and forth to kind of configure what you see in this screen. But now it's kind of like your home, I guess you could say. So it's got the blind spot warning up top, distance till empty, and the temperature up at the very tippity top. We have the digital speedometer in the center, and then we also have our total mileage, what gear we're in, and what our four-wheel drive is doing at the very bottom of that screen. Now, if we move over, we could see a kind of off-road screen, which is pretty cool. We can also move over to kind of auxiliary gauges, trip computers, real-time and average fuel economy. We also have our music, any driving aids, tire pressures, also our auto start stop feature, and some settings that you can go through too. So a pretty nice screen. It's got actually quite a bit of information in it too. So the kind of auxiliary gauges are transmission temperature, battery voltage, and then we also have oil temperature, and I believe that's oil pressure too. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, pretty nice gauge setup there. More traditional than anything, but some pretty useful information there. Pretty nice soft to the touch dash up here. So most of it is soft to the touch, and we have this kind of rubberized pad where you can put stuff up there. And that brings me down to our touchscreen. So there are kind of two touchscreen setups on the Frontier. We are kind of looking at the smaller touchscreen. There is a bigger one that kind of fills in all the gaps here, but we're going to take a look at some of the basic functions of this screen. So we do have some physical buttons down here: audio, menu, phone, and then we can pull up our cameras, switch between day and night mode. We also have volume knob and tune knob, so pretty traditional setup there. We click our home menu. We do have a couple of different home screens that you could choose from. One that you can customize with a clock and things of that nature. One that'll show you your audio, and kind of an audio list there too. So if we go into our audio screen, it'll kind of show you what's playing with your presets at the bottom, source over here, and what's playing at the center. And if we go to our phone screen, we can then, you know, connect our Bluetooth and things like that. And we also do have, you know, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, so that's awesome. A couple of other things you can get at the bottom is some various information, and then you can also set up your system settings too. So pretty old school screen with this car, and once you get the larger screen setup, there's definitely a lot more features available to you. Although I do really like that you can kind of pull up all your camera settings and things like that, and then you can also switch between day and night mode for the brightness very quickly. Down below, we have a new button for 2024, and that is auto start stop. So yes, this vehicle has finally succumbed to auto start stop, so we can kind of turn it on and off there. We have our hazards and our passenger airbag right there. We also have our four-wheel drive controls here. So we have it in two-wheel drive currently. You could turn it over to 4 high and then push and turn into 4 low, which is pretty cool. We also have our kind of dual zone climate control here in this car, which is nice. We have our defrosters and heated mirrors right there, temperatures to either side. Of course, you know, dual zone and automatic, turned on and off. We have our fan speed in the center, and where the air blows is right here with our AC, and then kind of recirculating controls at the other side. It's a very traditional climate control. Taking a look down below the climate control, we have our various controls for the heated seats up here. So heated cloth seats, very nice. They work very well. And then we also have heated steering wheel, ability to turn on and off our parking sensors. And we also have a couple of connections, so USB-C and a traditional USB. Down here we have a little pad to put your phone. And that brings me down to our shifter. So pretty traditional shifter. We just put it down into reverse, and that our backup camera will pull up, and also our guidance lines will kind of activate. Quality could be a little better on the backup camera, but really no complaints. And then we could also bring it down neutral, drive, and then bump it over into a manual mode. A couple of cup holders right next to, and another pad for kind of put your phone there. In the upper trims, this will actually be a wireless charging pad, so that's pretty nice. We have a nice soft center console, which you can lift up, and there's a pretty good amount of space in there. On our passenger side, the dash has some stitching. It's pretty nice looking there, and we also have a lockable glove box. Pretty good amount of space in there. And we also have a 12-volt power outlet on the passenger side too. And of course, in this model, the passenger seat is manually adjusting. We have grab handles up there, and our visors have a mirror in them. We have a pretty large sunglass storage up there, which is pretty cool. We have our tap illumination, some more kind of illumination controls up there, and then a passenger reading light, and our driver's side visor is pretty much the same as the passenger, just has all the warning labels on it. But that pretty much does it of all the features on this very cool 2024 Nissan Frontier SV Hardbody Edition. Very, very neat truck. I definitely had a grin checking this truck out the whole time. Make sure you stay tuned for us to check out the test drive video on this truck. And also stay with us for future videos on all kinds of trucks, cars, and SUVs on Ty Drives. Thank you very much for watching.